Hi everyone, we're here today with Tia of the Craft, located in Midland Park. She's a psychic too, as you've seen Jacqueline Laurita and also Teresa Giudice, Caroline Manzo, and we're here today getting the dish on Tia. So let me begin with your story. I want to know, Tia, what's your background? When did you get into this? What interests you about, the whole spiritual realm?
Anyone that would basically go into getting involved in it because they're seeking it, they don't really have what's called the gift. The gift is something that you have very young, probably the age of 3 it started with me. And it's something that you have to realize what is going on. It's a very confusing thing, it's a very frightening thing. And like I said, it picks you do not pick it.
So when did you decide to make a career out of basically being a psychic?
About 6-7 years ago, I'd gotten very sick and I almost died. And during the course of that time of being so close to death and feeling as ill as I was, I knew that there was another path for me that God had given me to go on. And this path that I was moving forward on was for me to use my gift that I kept quiet my whole life. And I finally came out of the closet.
Well, I guess there are a lot of similarities there.
Yes, there is, because when you have a gift and you're psychic, you worry about what people are going to think of you. You worry about, for us, we worry if people are going to believe us. People have this thing where there's a stigma attached to it, that they think that what we have is anti-Christ, which that is where the gift comes from, is from God. So there's a lot of things that, I feel that we have so much in common with. And then you just get to a certain age or a dilemma in your life, such as what happened with my illness, and it makes you just say, I don't care. Accept me for who I am, or don't accept me.
So within such a short time span, you were able to build, a huge clientele, and obviously you're featured now on TV, international TV, that is. So how is it, growing within such a short time frame?
When I decided that this was something that I was going forward with, as usual, I give it my all. My husband's been extremely supportive, which it was a big deal for me, because there's a lot of men. I see it's changed. Men are coming out and believing and coming in for readings more. And when we had first met, me divulging what I had was, a huge step. You don't know what somebody's going to, tell they're going to take it. And he's been beside me every way, and we've just blown up very, very quick in the business because of the fact that I'm real. And there's, I think there's a stigma in everything. People say to me, we do have a bad stigma being a psychic. I go, but I watch 2020 and I see them dissing on electricians that are no good, plumbers that are no good. There's good and bad in everything. There's shysters that exist amongst us. And I don't think it's fair just for them to have that stipulation of it being strictly in the psychic spiritual realm.
Well, people have a lot of preconceived notions that psychics rely on tarot cards, they rely on, the crystal ball. Now, is that necessarily true or no?
There's all different ways that people read. There's times that when people come in, their energy level, working with the eyes and sitting down and reading with them, I don't even need cards. Cards are a tool. Basically, it's you that I'm reading. It's your eyes are the window to the soul.
Exactly.
Very true. And if you ever get that feeling around someone that when you look in their eyes, this is not good, you go with your instinct, because that's all true.
Who was your first big client? Who was your first major client?
I actually didn't have to say, because the minute somebody comes through a door, to attach saying that they're big or they're famous or anything like that, when you come in here, you're God's child. What you are in the outside world means nothing. So there's a lot of change that happens once you walk through that door. It's reading your life, your aura, the positioning of where you could be. There's so many different facets that come into a reading, and all I see of you is who you are, and I forget anything else about what you may be doing in the real world.
So, was there one of the girls, did one of them come in first, and then she was blown away, and then she introduced you to her friends? How did,
I actually had the pleasure of meeting Jacqueline, who I adore. And we just really, truly clicked. What you see with Jacqueline, you don't even get to see really, truly who she is on television, because the girl is just a beautiful soul. She's very caring and loving, and I truly like being with her, and I love being her psychic advisor. And that's really how the whole kind of the ball of wax started, and then the other housewives kind of filtered in after Jacqueline.
Ah, I see. So now could you, obviously you can't like divulge any specifics, but could you say what we might see coming up in this season?
They kind of did a little flip on it because I had read Jacqueline prior to the christening.
Ah, yeah.
And they didn't play it that way, but so be it, that's life. But I did see that there was the problems, there was the arguing, the daggers, so forth, and that seems to be a little oppressive for my poor Teresa, so, but she could hold her own.
So when I was at Kim D's house the other night, I noticed that she wears these bracelets that she told me she got here, and I wanted to know, do they relate to energy levels, spiritualism, what exactly?
Well, funny you mentioned that, because I happen to have a few on. Really pretty much balancing in today's world, and we're in the metropolis here. It's very high paced.
Yeah.
Energies vary. There's good energy, there's bad energy. We all want good energy. However, periodically we find someone that is trying to give us a little bit of shade, not really a nice person, there's our negative energy. So we work with our bracelets for all different aspects. Hematite would be for healing. Healing on the body is something that you walk with, that maybe you need a healing energy with. Energy level. Also, that would be your amethyst. We work with trying to have our clear energy, our good energy.
Yeah, that's important.
Our crystal clear quartz. And then our protective, which would be the same as, you know, when you see the eye, you know, the little eyes that people, there we go. Tracing, that would be the black onyx. So those are our energy bracelets, and those are protective bracelets that I firmly believe the body, your body, should be protected.
Yeah.
And that's why jewelry is so very important and always has been.
Exactly. That's interesting you mentioned that. So would you say, are these, I don't want to use the word bless, but are
I bless them. I'm a reverend, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, so anybody out there that wants to be married, give us a
I'll
call.
keep that in the back of my head.
Yes, we do not discriminate at the craft.
So do they carry specific, you bless them, you mentioned.
Yes, I do.
So, are there certain procedures that people need to go through in order to make sure they get the most out of their bracelet? Case in point, leaving them out in a full moon or leaving them out in the sun once a month?
We make sure that in the full moon is full of energy.
Yeah.
It is not a negative, it's a positive. So we do put our bracelets in. Cleansing, always cleansing is done with salts. We do have other avenues that we use. We use sage, we do use frankincense, and we use myrrh. We use different things for cleansing aspects. And then we do charge them on full moon.
So we just spoke about saging and the whole process of going to one's home and cleansing it. Now I want to bring up Teresa.
Okay.
So everyone's going to see that Tia actually goes into Teresa's home and sages it in one of the episodes coming up. And I want to ask, how was that process?
Well, because of the fact that she had built the house, there's a lot of traffic in and out in Teresa's life. She's got the cookbook, she's got so many personal appearances. There's a lot of energy that gets dragged in and out.
Yeah.
So what we wanted to do is we wanted to go in and cleanse that. And it's never been done from the time that she built it. And Teresa truly loves her home. It is stunning.
Yeah, it is.
It is absolutely stunning. It is my favorite home. It's like a killer. No, Jacqueline too. Gotta say that. But they all have beautiful, beautiful homes. And with a lot of traffic going through, I just felt it was a good idea that in protection, we protect people here.
Yeah.
This is a very protective space. So when we see something that's a little disruptive, something going on in someone's life that maybe we want to do a little coddling and make sure that their energy is okay and where they live. You sleep in that environment.
Yeah.
You must make sure where you lie your head down is a very protected, cleansed space.
Do you think it's more important to cleanse the home that they just moved into because it's not their energy, it's not their history, it's not their memories?
It's any property, because a lot of times what you have is you have old problems. That could have been a farmhouse that's knocked down, and you have a spirit that did not want to leave.
Yeah.
Poltergeist type activity. So regardless of that, he's going to manifest in the environment that's built, regardless. So that's one aspect of looking at it. The second is, you know, if there was a woman that had, or a male that had completely a horrible life, and maybe entertained the thought that they played with drugs and there was just a lot of sorrow in there. So people do not realize that when they walk into places, when they go into places, that it's really important. You cleanse and make your barrier of your space.
It got me thinking.
Very important.
Yeah.
Very important. And for as a mother, looking at it, and as a psychic, children are very psychic.
I agree.
Okay? Because they're not tainted by all of you people that don't believe in us.
Yeah.
So they're still an open soul. They're still open and new.
Well, I'll say, like, even when I was younger, I had my own experiences with that, like seeing like relatives that had passed on.
Exactly.
I wasn't crazy. I know I wasn't.
Oh
crazy.
no, because nobody got their hands on you yet to say, here's the Bible, here's what's good, here's what's bad, and the mind conditioning didn't go into full throttle.
Mind conditioning.
And I see grown adults say, my whole life I didn't believe in ghosts, and then it happened to me, and now I know. So that type of a thing does exist, but it's conditioning of the mind. You were taught not to believe, you were taught to stop. But from the age of infants to probably, I would say, about 4 years old, probably 4 is where then it starts to go into the conditioning level.
Yeah.
You are open, and you are able to see those loved ones that do want to come in, and they do want to visit with you. And, you know, you are able to see the ghost in the house.
So lastly, before we end the interview, what I wanted to ask, and what I feel is, you know, should be asked, is this question is directed towards Tia's husband, Ken. Now, how is it being in a relationship and marrying someone who has this ability, and which is really, you know, it's not your typical 9-to-5 thing, and it's not just an opinion. It's not even a talent. It's something you're born with. How is that?
I mean, at first, I can't remember exactly how the wording was when she told me, but I just said, oh, really, you know? And like she said, I never went to a psychic before. Not that I didn't believe in it per se. I just never thought about it. And I just kind of took it and said, that's interesting. You know, I think you were afraid.
Very.
to tell me.
Very afraid.
And I just, you know, it didn't bother me really, or I didn't react, holy God.
Yeah.
I just took it in stride, and, you know, like I said, it's been years, and I'm used to it now, but a lot of interesting things have happened.